Hi, this is the second video in a series of videos covering getting DIGIMAP information into AUTOCAD. Now if you're looking at this from Dundee University's My Dundee system, then I'd like you to go into this item here, DIGIMAP download MasterMap Plus to AutoCAD. Okay. If you're not part of Dundee University, then you'll find a reference, you'll find a link to the file that I discuss in a moment inside the video description. Okay, but there is an issue with DIGIMAP MasterMap information, that it's not formatted very well. The layer names, the layer colors are all identical. When you look at each layer, they've all been given the same color, but the items within the file have been forced to be different colors, and this isn't very good practice within AutoCAD. You really should have everything by what we call by layer. Okay, so that's what we need to do. We need to kind of correct things. And how do we get that control? Well, I've devised a method where I've got a file, a template that has as many different MasterMap layer names as I could find, all, and I've color coded them. I've color coded them to match an AutoCAD CTB file, which allows us to get better control over the line weight. Okay, so every sheet that I've found has used these layer names. There's a few layer names get added as the years go by, so it's not complete, but it's pretty close. So this is what we're trying to get to. So this is where, you know, in the MasterMap information that we receive, you notice the colors all vary, the line types are varying, line type scale, all these things should be much more organized. And you know, the end goal is to have a drawing that looks something like this, where we can see the buildings much clearer, and the less important information like footpaths and road edges, they're more subservient to that. Okay, so we need this drawing to work with, and as I say, there's a link to this in the video description. Okay, so I'll save that, and then I'm going to be using AutoCAD 2024 here. I've run this in AutoCAD 2025 as well, works just the same, there's no problem. So I'm going to open that file. So I want to go to find my downloads. Okay, so here's the file we start with that's got all the layer names in it and nothing else. Okay, if I drop this down, you'll see a huge list of layers. Okay, and then we are going to insert the drawings into that. So it's insert, blocks from libraries. Okay, you need to browse for this. Again, I'm going to get to my downloads. Okay, so our stuff is in this St Andrews folder, and we'll start with the contours. It's one of the bigger area files, and open. Now we need to let everything go to the locations that the Ordnance Survey thinks they're in. So I'm going to take the tick off insertion point, wait till the icon previews, right click, insert and explode. Okay, come over your screen, double click your middle mouse button so you can zoom extents, and we can see the coastline, Tentsmuir Beach is up here, and the town is in this area. Okay, let's bring the buildings in now, the building heights. Now these aren't the most stable. I'm not sure what these objects are in 3D programming terms, but they're not the friendliest. They tend to have a bit of a destabilizing effect on any CAD program that they go into. So I really don't know how they've created these, but anyway, we'll have to deal with them. So we'll open those. Takes a bit longer to generate the preview here because it's a 7 megabyte file. This one was only about 1 megabyte. Okay, there's my preview showing up with these very handily black items. So same again, insert and explode. They should appear in the right place. There they go. Okay, so that's where the town is. And then we'll bring in the topographic information. So topo A. There'll be a lot more symbols in this. Okay, so this one's the west one. So right click that, insert and explode. Okay, and then again for topo B. Just wait for the preview to arrive. Nearly there, here it comes. Come on. Okay, right click, insert and explode. Okay, so we're done with inserting just now. So we're only really interested in this portion of the map. So anything below that can be deleted. So I'm going to use a selection window that goes from left to right. Okay, so I don't pick up the contours that are running right the way through. So just go below the map. Okay, so anything that's loose below there, just press delete and get rid of it. Do the same above. Oops, let's do a bigger one there. Okay, delete again. Okay, so we've got some contours and coast edge here that need trimmed. Okay, there's a few buildings here that we're poking out. We'll probably delete those. And once we trim off, I could probably get in a bit closer with the selection there as well. Take away a few. These, there's hundreds of shapes there. If you don't need them, then they can go. You can do that here as well. Get a bit closer. Get rid of a few more things. Okay, I'm going to put a rough rectangle around this just now. So just get the rectangle tool. I'll switch my object snaps off, and just going to go. I'm going to come out to here because I want to keep a bit of the coast shape there. Okay, and if you use the standard trim method, so it's trim mode standard. Okay, go back and get your trim command again. Okay, pick the rectangle, then press enter, and then we can chop off anything that's poking out. Okay, you could use a crossing window to help with that. Okay, now you may find this a wee bit unstable on some systems that haven't got much in the way of graphics cards, but persevere with it. Make sure you save, if I were you, before you maybe do some of this. So we've minimized the amount of material. I don't need this rectangle now. Okay, so this is where I would save the file. Okay, so file, save as, and I'm going to go into my St. Andrews folder now, and let's rename the file to St. Andrews and save. Okay, I'm not going to purge it just yet. We will clear out the blocks that we inserted, but we'll get the color things sorted out now. So let me just show you again what the problem is. So let's find a line here on the, say, this part of a quadrangle. Okay, so you can see here that the layer that's on is colored pale blue, but the line has been forced to be white. Okay, same with this. We've got that line should be showing up pink as building outline, but it's showing up red. So these need to be changed to be by layer. So I'm going to keep that to one side and bring up the properties panel. So that's PR, enter. Okay, I wouldn't try and select everything in one go, because it tends to kind of lock up a bit. So this time it's a crossing window over half of the info. Okay, color by layer, line type by layer, line type scale 1, enter, line weight default. The way we work here is that the line weight is determined by the CTB file, by the pen settings file. Okay, escape a couple of times. Okay, and then we'll do a crossing window on the other half of the map and do the same again. Okay, color by layer, line type by layer, line type scale 1, line weight default. Okay, varies, things that the layer will vary because these are objects on different layers, that's okay, but it's things like the color and the line type that are the problem. Okay, so we've still got this huge list of layers. I'm not sure how many are actually there. Okay, but we can purge that now. So save, then purge, P-U-R-G-E, enter. Make sure there's a tick in purge nested items. Okay, so you can see here that wherever these plus signs appear, there's stuff that can go. Okay, so we're going to purge all. Purge all checked items. Then close. And that should have reduced the list of layers quite a bit. Okay, let's have a little look at that list of layers. And you can see here that some of these are still color 10. Okay, so these are layers that are newer names. They seem to be relevant to water. So let's just say all of these, anything to do with the water here. So sluice, that's the water. Path text, and that's not water. Some landforms there, we'll leave those. Water, these two are water. Okay, so these are all layer names that have arrived since that template was created. So another direction of flow, that's water. So, you know, it doesn't take long to just kind of pick those out and be sensible. Let's just make those blue, because they're kind of water related. That would be a sensible color. Okay, inferred property closing link. Let's make these red. Okay, so that's the color 10, but this is the red. Okay, landform line and landform points. So I think if the landforms, maybe green for those. Okay, what we've got in here, path text. I think maybe yellow for that, so it's slightly bolder when text. A lot of the text layers are already yellow, and that's it. Apart from the buildings, we've got that on purposely a different color so we can tell them. Oh, sorry, a couple here. We've got electricity stuff here and the flag, staff or mast, and maybe go pale blue for those two. So if I sort them out by color, we're looking for anything that's not got a name. So everything apart from the buildings has got a named color, so that ties in with our black and color CTB much better. Okay, good. So, you know, we've done as much as we can there. Next job is to bring in the historic and aerial imagery, but to help with that, I'm just going to create a grid on top of here. I want to restore the two 1 kilometer squares that we've got. So I'm going to freeze the buildings. So use the layer freeze command, and I'm just going to freeze off the contours as well, just for a moment here. There's a bit more contour there. So these large numbers are to do with the contours. I think that's probably sufficient. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. Okay, and then what I can do is draw a horizontal line from the end of any of these lines, okay, because this is where it's been trimmed to the Ordnance Survey tile. So I'll put the ortho back on and my object snaps, and just a standard line. So I've switched the contours off because they're at different heights. You don't want to end up accidentally with a 3D line, so that's why the contours have gone off. So I'm just going to drag that back to the bottom left corner, and then the same again from the vertically down this left hand side. Okay, so that's going to be our insertion point for the photograph and the historic information. So I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. Just use the grip to extend it. Do the same with this one, use the grip, and then offset, and 1 kilometer is 1,000,000 millimeters. So the offset distance is 1 and then 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Enter. So we'll take this across twice and this up once. So these are our two 1 kilometer squares. If you use the fillet command, it's easy to tidy those up. The white lines should be easy to pick because they're the newest items. Enter again, pick, pick, enter, pick, pick, enter, pick, pick, enter, pick, pick, and finally restore the corner, and that's our two 1 kilometer grids. Okay, I think that's a decent place to stop. Let's just save, and we'll move on to the third and final video of this little set. Okay, cheers.